Hi students, Pete Estabrook here. So I just want to do a short video for a minute talking about guide tones. Some students are not that familiar with the term guide tones. What does that mean? Well, essentially it means 3 and 7 from each chord. In jazz music, we generally are using at least 4 note chords, not triads like we do in classical music. And of those 4 note chords, it's a 3 and 7 that are probably the most descriptive notes. I've heard them described as the meat of the sandwich. The root and fifth of the chord don't give us a lot of information. The 3 and 7 are absolutely necessary for us to be able to tell whether a chord is major or minor or dominant. So we really need that essential information. And one little useful thing is to play the guide tones either on any instrument, but on the keyboard in your right hand, and then play a bass note in your left hand. You really have the essentials of the sound of a chord when you do that. So the idea with using guide tones is that it gives us a particular pathway, not the only pathway, but a particular pathway through a chord progression. So for instance, on a 2-5-1 progression, on the 2 chord, the 7 would move to the 3, the note 3 on the 5 chord, and then that would hold as major 7 on the 1 chord. Likewise, on the 2 chord, the 3rd would hold as the 7th on the 5 chord and then move down to the 3rd. That stepwise motion, voice leading, we would call it, is very useful for creating lines and staying close to when improvising, because you'll guide the listener through the progression. You'll let the rhythm section know that you know where you are, and you'll be able to outline the chords very simply and easily without using a lot of notes. So those are some ideas about guide tones. I would suggest practicing those through 2-5-1 progressions and other progressions in all 12 keys. Very useful to practice the blues, the guide tones on the blues, and how those notes 3 and 7 interchange when you move from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, etc. Those are very useful activities. So I would suggest diving in, thinking about your guide tones, maybe writing them out for yourself. Try to play them on the keyboard, play them on your instrument. That's all for now.